Hello, dear viewers of All About Ancient Rome. With me, Yavor Ivanov. In the episode 9, we're going to look how the Roman Republic was transformed to empire. In the previous episode, we were talking about and we looked at how the Roman Republic was found, what periods went through, what factors contribute to the death of the Republic, what reasons were behind that led to the end of the Republic. And in the previous episode, we said that Julius Caesar played a major role. But not only, the civil wars and so on play this role that killed the Republic. And here we're going to look at it, who transformed completely the Republic to empire. In the previous episode also I said that in the Battle of Actium in 31st BC, that was the death and the funeral of the Republic. For the first one, maybe I was quite right. But for the second, not so much. Because the Republic dies in 31st BC. But it wasn't the funeral, more it was like the preparation for the funeral. And this preparation, behind this preparation was only one man, Octavian. But let's see what happened before the battle in Antium in 31st BC. Augustus was a smart young man that knew that before he faced Mark Antony in the battlefield, he has another battle that is almost as important to win. The battle in the hearts of the people of Rome and their minds. Before the battle of Antium, there were 200 senators who threw them allegiance to Mark Antony. So that was about 1/3 roughly of the Roman Senate. So we see Mark Antony still has support in the Senate, and not only, he had a huge support among the ordinary citizens of Rome. He was a people's tribune. He was remembered still as a good people's tribune. So Octavian realized that he has to win this battle before the one in the battlefield. So he started propaganda against Mark Antony, depicting him as a guy who played more as an Eastern monarch, as a guy who abandoned his ancestors' traditions and beliefs, that he is not any longer Roman, more on an Egyptian. He married secretly Cleopatra and have 2 children. And this did not was in the benefits of Mark Antony. So Octavian exploit all this information and facts against Mark Antony. And before the Battle of Antium, we can say that in certain extent he succeeded. And when they met in this clash of titans, really, battle in Antium in 31 BC in northwest Greece, there were 200,000 troops facing each other. Altogether, both sides, there were 200,000 troops. And the battle was going to happen in the sea and on the land. The naval battle didn't go well for Mark Antony. He fled, and very soon after, the Cleopatra follows him. His legionaries, seeing from the land that the military leader left, they quickly surrender to Octavian. And somebody probably will say, well, that's it. Octavian is sole ruler of the empire, of what will become the empire. Not quite yet. For Augustus has to follow them in Egypt, besiege Alexandria, and then Mark Antony and Cleopatra will commit suicide, and then there weren't left any enemies who could stand against Octavian. But that wasn't the end and the funeral of the Republic. Octavian has to do a few things, and he did it brilliantly, to become the guy who controlled really the whole Roman state. He was very smart, and we mentioned it in the previous episode. He was very observant. He observed well. He analyzed very well the people's minds. And he learned from the mistakes from his great uncle who adopted him as a son. Learned from them and did not make them again. When I say again after Caesar, because he never ever offended the Republic. Caesar openly was saying the Republic is dead. He was proclaimed imperator, dictator for 10 years and then for life. But that was looked from more people, and not only nobles, but ordinary people, as an insult to the Republic. Republic was something that was well connected in the Roman hearts, with them heritage, with them history and traditions. And Octavian sensed that. And he said, I am not going to make the same mistake as my great uncle. He never said publicly or in a private conversation the Republic is dead, or any sort of comments as Caesar did. He never demanded or asked for dictatorship from the Senate, but he did another things that kept the facade of the Republic. But he will be the one control the whole state and all aspects of the power in Rome. First thing he did is to make sure that the Senate is loyal to him. He proclaimed that there is a certain criteria you have to meet to be a senator. Make a new rules that if you don't have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 million sesterces, you could not be a senator. So he deprived his enemies in the Senate from this money as by exile, accusing them for treason, exile them, confiscate their money and property, and give it to his associates, his friends, who did not have enough money to be senators. So the Senate became solidly loyal to Augustus. Really, the date of the burial of the Roman Republic will be, the funeral year will be 27 BC. But we will see how it comes to that year and what Augustus did along. First, he started to control the Senate, as we say. Secondly, he was given censorship, so he can expel as well anybody from the Senate who is acting immorally. So even though he was controlling the Senate, even somebody has the bravery to go against him, he could quickly expel that person or personas from the Senate. In the beginning, he was given after the battle of Antium in 31st BC, the permanent consulship. But Augustus again was careful not to be accused as Caesar, the guy who wants to kill the Republic and disregard the Republic as whole. The people of Rome need illusion. And Octavian was ready to give this brilliant, fantastic, juicy illusion that the Republic was alive. Even though the people sensed that they sensed the instinct was clearly saying to them, the Republic is dead. But they have this sweet belief that the Republic is Rome. Rome is the Republic. Without the Republic, we lose identity, if you like. And Augustus was not going to steal this dream from the people. He was given permanent consulship, and seeing that as a threat to the people's dream. The Senate exchanged it later to Imperium Proconsulare, which is mean he controlled all the provinces in the Roman Republic. So if you control all the provinces, he will give some to the Senate later, but he controlled the most wealthiest one and the most important one. Even you could not enter Egypt without his permission if you're a Roman citizen. He was only one who appointed the governor of Egypt, where the most of the grain was coming from. So we see, even though he still holds fully the power in Rome, but officially the Roman institution still working, still existing. And he didn't even want to be a permanent consul, leave alone dictator or a king. So after that, as well, he holds the very important religious position, Pontifex Maximus, the chief priest. So he controlled the religion in Rome. The army, which was very important, he controlled it as well. The legions will take oath to be loyal only to him and the members of his family. And we will discuss further how he suppressed any attempt to any general to outshine him. And there is a brilliant example of Marius Licinius Crassus. We will discuss in a minute. But what happened more there until comes the year of 27 BC? Before that year, he already controlled the whole state. The army, the provinces, the finance. Most of the finances were going to his person. His wallet, I should say. And he controlled the state money, most of the state money from the taxation, coming from taxation, and the grain and so on. And in year 27 BC, he finally was proclaimed and given titles from the Senate as Augustus, which is mean divine, and the title for princeps. What is the princeps? Princeps is the first among equals, or primus inter pares. Somebody will say, but that's an insignificant title. It's only just an empty title, but actually not. When you hold all the power, this meant a lot, even though it sounds so humble. That's give Octavian the rights when in the Senate it's an important discussion about war, taxation, whatever might be the topic, and make new laws or decisions to make again about foreign kings and territories and war and so on. He has the right as a princeps to give first his opinion about it and advice. And of course, you can well imagine that Senate controlled by him. Senators that could lose them seats anytime because he was a censor would not oppose. I would quite opposite, embrace the advices and the opinions of Octavian, who will become Caesar Augustus. So again, he did not want to destroy this illusion. Quite opposite, he gave longevity to this illusion to the people in the Senate of Rome, that the Roman Republic is still alive and still functioning as before. But let's see what happened with the military leaders that outshine Augustus. Even talking about military success, Octavian wasn't a great military leader, but he has another important ability: to judge people very well, how loyal they can be, what ability they have, how to exploit this. abilities, those abilities and the loyalty. He knew that Agrippa would be very loyal friend to him and associate. He trusted him, and most of the decisive battle, Octavian was present, but they were won by Agrippa. So he knew he won't go against him because he was from a humble origin as well, and it could have been almost impossible for him to become emperor or take over, and he could sense that he's loyal. But there was another man who was from noble birth, with a great grandfather, Marcus Licinius Crassus. He was the guy who was the grandson of the man of the first triumvirate. The richest guy, Crassus the Rich. He was assigned as a military leader in the Balkans to fight against the Bastarni. They were a tribe of mixed origin, Scythian, Thracian and Germanic. They were threatening the Roman interest in the Balkans. He defeated them decisively, and not only Marcus Licinius Crassus defeated them brilliantly, but in single combat he killed the king of the Bastarni, the king Deldo. And in these occasions, when this happened, the Roman traditions should have given to the military leader who won in a single combat spolia opima, which is mean the rich spoils, one of the greatest military triumph. But Augustus did not want to be outshined, and he disregarded it and downplayed it and did not give that to Marcus Licinius Crassus. The campaign continued in the Balkans. Even Marcus Licinius Crassus showed more bravery and capability to be a great leader, and he marched Danube and he defeated the Dacians, which were another ferocious Thracian tribes. And even then, Octavian was kind of push, or the situation make him give a triumph in Rome in 27 BC to Marcus Licinius Crassus. But after that, Marcus Licinius Crassus disappeared from history. And this is more likely because he wasn't appointed anymore anywhere in any position in the Roman state. And of course, we know who appointed at the time people who hold these positions: Augustus. So Augustus won't be wrong to presume, and it's very plausible that Crassus disappeared from the historical records, because he never ever again appointed him in any position in the Roman state. So that's how Augustus wanted to keep the whole glory for himself. He was first among equals, but the more shiny one, the one with the most glory, the one who the whole Roman state depend on. And when he died in 14 BC and said in his deathbed, "Applause if I play well," we can say that Augustus was playing all alone. For him, life was a play. But he came out from this game a winner. For this play, he was the winner in the end. But again, and that's how it was transformed, the state. And maybe the funeral was in that day, 27 BC, when he received the title Augustus and Princeps. And from then on, he will be called Caesar Augustus. These names will become as titles for the future emperors of Rome. He laid the foundation of the empire, and the ones who follow afterwards to be the Roman emperors, and all thanks to Augustus. But somebody who's asked maybe the very plausible, very interesting, very expected question. Is that was good that the Roman Republic was transformed to empire? Even in modern days, a lot of people ask themselves, if we have a good dictator, is it not better than having democracy or rule by the Senate or the Parliament? Well, this is a very complex question, and especially to answer it will be very difficult. The Roman Republic was going to die. The processes and the factors, the things that happened before even Augustus buried the Republic, were going in that way, that somebody, Solar, one person will take the whole power in Rome. Augustus did it brilliantly, make the people happy, give them the illusions they wanted that the Republic is alive, but in the same time he holds all the power and gives the foundation of lay the foundation for the future emperors as they follow. And without going too far from the question and make it more even abstract, we should focusing of, was it positive what Augustus did? In my opinion is that, and many historians, that he stabilized the state. The people were tired of civil wars, strife, and conflict. Many farms, thousands of farms were destroyed. Thousands of people died in civil wars. Augustus brought peace and prosperity. And that was the most important for the people at the time. But another outcome, positive outcome of what Augustus did, he is the one to give the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, for 200 years to the empire. Stability that every single person, even today, like to have. No wars, peace, prosperity, and coexistence with the others without killing each other and having any kind of conflicts. And in this case, we can say that Augustus was very successful, and he will complete the transformation of the Roman state. And that's why in one of the months we'll go after him. That's why even today he will be remembered with the deeds, Augustus' deeds, which are really amazing and extraordinary. And we don't know is the destiny or coincidence, but he will be the longest ruling emperor of the Roman Empire. And all this point that what he did was necessarily, and he did it brilliantly. And I hope in this episode you learn about the transmission and the transformation of the Roman state. And I see you in the next episode.